fast forward 16 years later to that same site where the accident happened, and all these high school kids are performing this ritual to keep the Ripper from coming back alive, and they all claim they were born that night. So it's all like become a legend now. And after the ritual, they all go home, and then suddenly the Ripper comes out of nowhere and kills one of them off while he's on his way home, walking across a bridge over this river. And by this point, he's in his boogeyman ghost form or zombie form, or he could still be alive, but we don't know yet. So so that scene, the beginning and the first killing, sets the tone for the whole movie, but it kind of slows down and lightens up from that point for a little while, and we're introduced to all the main characters, which for the most part are your average cardboard cutouts. I mean, you got Bug. He's like the average kid with the average good guy personality, and then his best friend Alex, who's like the average smart ass best friend in these kind of movies. And then you got the school bully jock type, who's the average jock personality, and he kind of bullies Bug and his friend around. And then there's like Bug's love interest, who's, I think he's also the bully's girlfriend. And then Bug's older sister Fang, who's like the typical bitchy mean girl type, and she torments him too. There's the nerdy girl, the token Asian kid who's the first kid to get killed on the bridge, and then the token black kid who also happens to be blind. So for the most part, they're pretty typical characters you see in these movies. Nothing unique. All the good guys are likable, and the not so good guys are kind of annoying, but it's supposed to be like that, I guess. And typical high school shenanigans go on. There's some funny parts, some humor, some Dawson's Creeky type of drama, teen drama, I guess. But it's kind of cute, but thankfully it's kept to a minimum. And the acting and dialogue, for the most part, is passable, but nothing spectacular, although some of it is really bad. Like, when I first watched this movie, I had to watch it twice to review it, and when I first watched it, I was a little put off by the bad acting and dialogue, especially in the beginning, and then like towards the middle and towards the end it gets a little bit better, but it's a little off-putting at first. But the humor tries to be like hip and witty, but it's mostly just corny and campy. Anyway, despite these little flaws, the movie, it's never boring. It's still entertaining, and although it does take a little while for the horror to kick back in, which for the most part is just cheesy fun. It's not really that scary. Once it kicks back in, Bug and Alex start excuse me, showing signs of their souls being possessed by the Ripper's personalities, and then the Ripper himself shows up in his boogeyman form and starts killing people off. And the kills are pretty basic, not that creative, and the gore's kind of tame, but it's bloody enough. Gets the job done. Like I said before, the Ripper looks like your average boogeyman. He's big and tall, wears dark clothes, trench coat, long hair, and from what you see of his face, the makeup looks kind of bad. I mean, it's not that good. And he talks, and he kind of seems like a dumbed down cartoony version of Freddy Krueger and the Ghostface Killer from Scream. It's kind of laughable, but it's still entertaining, I guess. And towards the end, we find out that Bug and his sister Fang are adopted, and we find out who their real parents are, which from the beginning you could pretty much see coming a mile away. I mean, if you just put two and two together. And eventually we find out who's doing the killing, which turns out to be who you'd suspect all along. And without giving too much away, I'll just say that the Ripper himself was dead, and his boogeyman form was just the movie's way of symbolizing him. So, the ending was slightly confusing, but, mostly predictable. But once again, despite all these flaws, the movie's still fun to watch. It's cheesy and not that scary, but still, entertaining and worth at least one watch. Although I recommend renting it before buying it, or catch it on cable. I wouldn't I'm glad I didn't see it in theaters, because I'd have been pissed if I had spent like $15 to see it in 3D, which was the only option they had at that point. It's far from Wes Craven's best work, pretty sure of that, but it's not his worst either. Although I won't lie, it is close to his worst, but still watchable, at least in my opinion. So yeah, that's my review, and until next time, take care.